Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's fourth video. We're going to have a look at the weather. Then 10 to 14 days for today's fourth video. Day 10 will take us to the 2nd of July. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe run around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. And that's going to get us into the second half of July. I should get on that for you in a moment. Just to say that first video today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast. We've also released a weekend forecast and the EC42 day for UK and Ireland's a Glasgow update coming up for you tonight. 5 videos today. Can you believe it? Gracious me. Gav's well and truly back to work. But please like, share, subscribe on all today's videos and content. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Let me just pull my chair out, put my foot up on the small sofa. There we go. Right, well, that's me more comfortable. Let's crack on then. So, going to have a look at CT. First of all, so we're now sitting at 12.7, which is 1.4 degrees below the 61 to 1990 average. That is provisional to yesterday, to the 21st of June. So still quite a significant negative anomaly as we approach the last week of the month. That CT will get a boost, so through the last week of the month, these were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're at London today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. And check this out, we're starting off close to average with the upper air temperature at the moment, but they're going to be on the up over the next few days. So into next week, becoming very warm, potentially quite hot for a time around the middle part of next week. We have got quite a significant drop in the upper air temperatures taking place as we get through to the very last days of the month, so cooling down by the time we get into next weekend probably. And then through the first week of July, well, we've got a lot of scatter here, so very, very uncertain, I think, as we go through first week of July. We've got cooler ensemble members down here, but we have got some quite notable hot outlier members up here. So, you know, looks like we're going to get cooled down around the turn of the month, but how long that lasts for before we possibly start warming things up again remains to be seen. But I have to emphasise there is a lot of scatter there any time about the 1st of July on was really uncertain picture. Precipitation-wise, we've got dry weather over the next few days. Not much sign of a thundery breakdown now, certainly not for the southeast anyway, through the second half of this week. Perhaps a little bit more unsettled through the first week of July. But then again, that's extended range, it's unreliable. And overall, that's a relatively dry ensemble, I think, certainly for London. Temperature anomalies on the 22nd to 30th of June coming out above average. Precipitation anomalies, 22nd, 30th of June. Most areas drier than normal. Latest winter map from Earth from nullschool.net shows that we've got another weather system coming into the northwest today. However, this area of high pressure, which is of course to be Azores high, is gradually moving towards us and will be throwing up a ridge over the coming few days. That takes us very nicely into the chart data. So this is our latest UK Met Euro run, looking at midnight on Tuesday, and that ridge has formed an area of high pressure then over to the east of the country. We're drawing in a very warm southerly southeasterly flow. Into Wednesday and Thursday, we keep things looking very warm. So sorry, but perhaps locally hot down in the south and southeast. But better weather system pushes in from the Atlantic through Thursday to Friday, brings a band of showery rain southeast was with it, and possibly lowers the temperature. Now ahead of this, the air will be quite hot and unstable, so there is a risk of some thunder, I think, through the second half of next week. But probably not that much, and by the time we get through to next weekend, we've got a nice ridge building back in from the Atlantic again. That will be within cooler and fresher air, probably. But looks like into next weekend, probably turning rather settled once again. I can't look like that. High pressure over to the east country, drawing up this very warm or quite hot southerly southeasterly into the middle of next week. No, we find a trough of low pressure pushing across the country. Again, that could trigger some thunder, and it looks like it will introduce some cooler, fresher air from the Atlantic. Into next weekend, we're trying to build up another ridge from the Azores high there. So the KMA is looking again. Tuesday we've got that high pressure to the east of the country, plenty of high pressure through the middle part of next week. Gradually gets eroded from the Atlantic though, so it turns cooler and fresher. Quite a bit of dry weather in the south, probably a little bit showery in the north. And then the high pressure re-establishing again into next weekend. This is a bit of an uptick for the Glasgow goers, I have to say. Hello to Glasgow goers. We have our latest Glastonbury update coming up for you this evening, actually, probably around 6, 7 o'clock, something like that. Into extended range of the KMA, it does turn much more unsettled then, but of course that's a long way off, and that change to genuinely unsettled weather has been put back a little bit by the KMA there. So again, everybody, this is our GFS midnight run, talking once more high pressure over into the east of the country, drawing in this very warm or locally quite hot southerly southeasterly flow through the early part of the week. Then a trough of low pressure heads in from the Atlantic, merges with a bit of a fungy low coming up from the south. So sometime around Thursday, possibly to Friday, there might be a bit of a fungy breakdown. Then into cooler, fresher air from the Atlantic as we go through next weekend. But still a lot of dry weather in the south, as high pressure ridges in from the Azores high, perhaps a little bit more unsettled up in the north, heading up toward day 10 and beyond, where we keep these ridges going. So again, the first week of July, bit of an uptick here with the GFS midnight run, quite a bit of dry and warm weather until the very end of the GFS midnight run. It does turn cooler and more unsettled, but again, that's a long way off, very unreliable time frame stuff. The GFS 6 in comparison, once again, high pressure dominating weather through the early and middle part of the week. Then a trough of low pressure moving in Thursday to Friday. Looks like it's generated a bit of a fungy low here on the eastern side of the country, Friday to Saturday. So sometime around the second half next week, but very uncertain. There might be some sort of fungy breakdown. They're into cooler, fresher air, followed by main dry conditions, though, over the course of next weekend. And then beyond that, the GFS 6Z actually turns a lot more unsettled for the midnight run and cooler as well, with this low pressure dropping in from the North Atlantic. So the 6Z has gone back to a cool and unsettled first week to July. If you're enjoying the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Make sure to everyone for doing that. Want to drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. We thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. We only need to put on around 45 subscribers to get ourselves to 18.6k. So if you could give us a sub, that'd be incredible. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, GM again, high pressure over to the east of the country on Tuesday. Main dry, very warm, could be locally hot through the middle part of the week. Then we've got this low heading in from the Atlantic around Thursday. Might bring a fungy breakdown and a push of cooler air from the northwest by the end of next week. Into next weekend, well, again, looks a little bit showery in the north, probably reasonably dry down in the south. By day 10, we're back under high pressure again, mostly dry and quite warm there into the opening days of July. And then finally, the ECM looking like this. Once more, high pressure over to the east country on Tuesday, main dry and very warm. Then everything starts turning rather slack through Wednesday and Thursday. Could be a fungy breakdown as this area of low pressure starts coming in from the Atlantic, and there's a fungy low towards the continent as well by the end of next week. That's a setup through days 8, 9 and 10 with low pressure just to the southwest of Ireland and the UK. Still drawing up quite a warm, unstable southerly southeasterly flow, but probably an increasing risk of thunderstorms there as we go through to early July. A lot of uncertainty, you'll notice, from as early as about Wednesday and Thursday onwards within many of those charts. This is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Tometeo.com. Plenty of dry weather to come over the next few days. What rain there is mostly confined to the far north and west of Scotland. However, by the time we get through to the last stage of next week, we are starting to see signs of some thunderstorms moving up from the south there. And thunderstorms over on the eastern side of the country into the end of next week and next weekend as well. So hints of a fungy breakdown from the ECM. Beyond that, as we get toward day 9, 10, well, further heavy shower, maybe some thunder down towards the southwest. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 2nd of July. 18 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure over to the south of the country, low pressure to the north. Looking a little bit flat and westerly, but driest weather will be in the south most unsettled in the north. We've got 17 creamy control on the operational run with a complete flip on that. So high pressure's to the north and low pressure is to the south. That's going to be bringing the wettest weather into the south and could be a bit thundery too. And then we've got 16 with high pressure between Iceland and Scotland, low pressure down to the southwest of the country, winds coming in from an easterly direction. A lot of uncertainty there at day 10 into the overall synoptic pattern. And then in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 7th of July. 18 members of the ECM ensembles with a trough of low close to the UK and Ireland. That would be quite unsettled. But 17 with high pressure ridging in from the Atlantic, mostly dry and warm. And then 16 with low pressure to the east of the country, bringing in a cool northwesterly flow. That's kind of like what the GFS V2 said is doing, cool and showering. So a very, very, very uncertain picture, both day 10 and 14, unusually so, I think, not only within each individual model, but within their overall ensemble suites as well. And I would imagine that the scatter we see here in the GFS ensembles, if we went through them, or, you know, looked at the anomalies for those ensembles with the GFS, I'd imagine they too would show a range of options and possibilities, such as we see here within the ECM ensemble. So very, very, very uncertain picture for early July. Right, CFS finally. These are 500 millibar height anomalies breaking down to week periods. The first week period takes from 22nd 28th of June. The next week we'll have high pressure over and to the east country, mostly dry and very warm, locally hot around middle part of the week. Week 2 will be the 29th of June to 5th of July. High pressure then goes to the west of the country. That brings in more of a northwesterly flow. Still mostly dry, but probably a bit cooler and fresher. Week 3 will be the 6th to the 12th of July. Strong anticyclonic signal today from the CFS. High pressure right over top of the country. That will be very dry. That'll be warm and very dry as well. And then week 4 is the 13th to the 19th of July. Still with high pressure dominating just to the northwest of the country. Again, should be mostly dry. Could be warm or very warm with that. So could we be shaping up for like a hot July here, rather unexpectedly? Into there from the CFS, but as we see from the shorter range model output, there's a lot of uncertainty as early as the first week of July, so I wouldn't get carried away with a hot July just yet. But you never know, we'll see. Okay, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. I mean, thank you so much everyone for doing that. Right, I've got one more update, a 5th and final update coming up for you this evening. That be the Glasto update, which I think is update number 6, I think. So that's on the way later. Tomorrow, we're going to have a 6 AM UK weather forecast. The second update for autumn 2024 will be released tomorrow as well. There may be a video upload for the 10 to 14 day, or possibly I'll be live streaming. I think the thought is still a little bit sore, really, to do a live tomorrow, so I would suspect it's more likely be a 10 to 14 day video, and then the Sunday live perhaps comes back the following week. But I shall let everybody know tomorrow. Anyway, watch this space on that, and probably we'll try and squeeze in another Glasto update for you tomorrow as well, for the Glasto goers. Right, well, you enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon. I'll see you a little bit later on for the next Glasto update, but for this one, that's all for now, and thanks so much.